Fellowship. The fellowship is a 3-semester program in which students learn about and address environmental issues which affect South Florida. During the summer semester, the issue of biodiversity particularly interested me. I became interested in native gardening during the semester as I learned about the many benefits it has in impacting biodiversity. I chose to address biodiversity because I feel that trying to increase the health of ecosystems is imperative with the rampant human development that is constantly occurring. The goal of my project was to change practices by people at my school. I wanted to change the habit of neglect towards the natural areas in our school. My first option was to start a native garden in order to attract pollinators and small native animals. I also considered starting a club in order to educate my fellow students about the pertinence of biodiversity in native gardening. My third option was to take pledges from students to plant at least one native plant in their own home gardens. My target audience was people who already were involved or interested in environmental issues, as they would be the most likely to support environmental initiatives. I chose to create a hybrid of the three. I decided to plant the garden at my school because it would have a wider impact there than if I had planted it at home. I started out by getting permission to do the project. I then got my junior friend to agree to be president of the Native Gardening Club after I left the school. My math teacher agreed to sponsor the club. I was able to use the cafeteria table 2 days in October to collect pledges from students agreeing to plant a native plant in their garden and collected 43 pledges. I contacted the Indian Trails Native Nursery and was able to take advantage of the 6 for $20 wildflower deal that was a 7-gallon, $32 firebush for only $10. I was able to plant the garden over the span of about a week with the help of some of my friends. My community partners were the people I enlisted to help plant the garden, my club sponsor, and my junior friend who is carrying on the club. I used community-based social marketing when taking pledges, as the pledges were made in public, which created accountability, and I got contact information for all pledges to allow me to send them reminders to keep up their pledge. During my meeting about native gardening, I used CBSM by using brochures to inform people of how native gardens benefited them, which is an important part of convincing them that the benefits of native gardens outweigh the costs. I encountered a challenge in that my SGA funding fell through. This meant my project had to come out of pocket, but with the deals that the Indian Trails Native Nursery offered, I was able to afford a good amount of plants to get off the garden. The results of my project were measurable in that, 1, a new native garden was established at the school, which attracted bees and 4 larvae so far, that a new club was established to encourage native gardening specifically, which I have never seen at my school, and 3, 43 students made a promise to take native gardening outside of school and into their own homes. I think my project was successful in that I achieved all of my original goals. I feel good about what I've done, and I'm glad that I did it. If I could go back, I would have gone to an event where I could get plant vouchers so I could get more plants for my garden and offer them to people who pledged to plant one so that it would make it more convenient for them to take the project outside of school. I also would have started the club sooner so I could get more signups, as I was not able to attend club rush this year. The sustainability of my project is ensured by the inherent sustainability of native plants, as well as the creation of the Native Gardening Club. I still need to care for my garden and get my club approved by administration, but overall, I feel that I did what I set out to do at the beginning of my project.